York Sport President.
Coordinates and develops sport within YUSU and works to increase opportunities and participation.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome to the Sports President debate. From nearest to me to furthest, can we have an opening statement, please?
So, hi, I'm Charlotte Elsy, and I'm running for York Sport President. I'm currently a member of the University Hockey Club, and I'm also on the York Sport Committee. Got 4 main manifesto aims: improve the awareness of the benefits of sport and exercise on mental and physical health, unite York, both as a York Sport Union, but also unite the union with other societies, improve equal opportunities for all, and ensure that York Sport and YUSU are always there for the students.
Hi, I'm Ellie Griffin and I've been on the swimming committee last year and I also do college sport. My manifesto has 3 main points. The first one is more emphasis on the benefits of sport for mental health, because it's something that I've experienced and I know is a huge thing for a lot of students here at York. Secondly, I want to increase involvement in sport at all levels, so not just uni level or college level, but also the level below that, so people who want to get involved in sport but not at a competitive level. And lastly, I want to improve integration with sports groups in the local community. So I'm from York myself, so I have a lot of links with groups in the local community that can help students here at York get more integrated.
Hi, I'm Maddi. I'm a third year law student. I'm the current president of women's football and I'm also Graduate College Sports Officer. I've got 5 key policies which are based on my experience of sport at York over the past 3 years. Firstly, student hire costs. I want to tackle the problems surrounding facility hire and block bookings. Secondly, sport for everyone, increasing the accessibility of sport at all levels. Third, reviewing bus transport, reducing travel costs for everyone. 4th, kit at both a college and university level. And 5, making York sport go further. This is what we can do to do more both on and off the pitch and help us become closer as a union.
Okay, thank you. So, first question then. Both Maddi and Charlotte talk about your experience and why your experience particularly makes you stand out for best for the role. So, why do you think it's your experience personally that makes you stand out?
So personally, I've got a lot of experience in kind of a wide variety. I've played college and numerous sports. I've represented the university for hockey for 3 years running, and also being on the York Sport Committee has given me a huge insight into how the YUSU works. I've had to kind of work with different clubs, look at their finances, understand why clubs are struggling with their money, what we can do to help them, how we can improve it over the next few years. I've also seen how Roses worked and how that is organised. It's a huge event. And I've had to have meetings with Lancaster to kind of work out how we're going to do it this year. So, yeah.
Maddi?
Yeah. As I said, I'm the president of women's football this year. So I've had experience at the top of, although it's not as big as the union, women's football, I'd love it to be. I've had experience at the top of a club and working and dealing with all the issues that come up in the course of this, of which there's been quite a few. But also my role as Graduate College Sports Officer, I've seen things at a college level. I play in several college teams. I'm the fixture coordinator for college women's football. I know how it works at that level as well, and I've got experience at the top of something there.
Okay, so Ellie, you of course mentioned in your manifesto that you don't have any prior roles at the university. How do you think you're going to be able to bridge this gap, if you even think there is a gap to be bridged at all?
I think in my manifesto I haven't mentioned, but I was on committee of the swimming team last year, okay. So I was the captain of the team, so I have got some experience. So I have got experience of like liaising with YUSU and that kind of thing, and I am on college sport as well, so I do have experience of both kind of committees. So I don't think it will be a massive issue for me, because I have got close links with people who are on the YUSU committee this year. So I don't think it will be an issue, because I have talked to them and kind of seen what kind of issues they face, and I have kind of done my research, I guess. So I don't think I'm that out of touch, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else do you think there is that makes each of you stand out for the role?
So I think what I've got in my manifesto that's a little bit different is I've talked about kit and also transport. So these have been big issues that we face in women's football this year, and I'm sure a lot of uni teams have faced similar issues. For example, the buses. We've recently had a problem with trying to travel to Aberdeen and paying out £1,000 for a bus. I just don't think it's acceptable to be asking student clubs to be paying that sort of money to get to their fixtures. I think go and take a look at my manifesto, have a read of it. But yeah, those 2 issues I'd say are my sort of different takes on things.
I think my manifesto is quite personal to me. I think that's the thing that makes me different, is that all the three things in my manifesto is things that I've experienced, especially mental health, is a massive thing for me because I've experienced it myself. And I think that's kind of my standout point, is that I have experienced all these things and I know for sure that I can implement them, and the things I'm passionate about, especially the links to the local community, is I have links to this community in York, and it's a massive thing that we should get involved in. I think it's like students now are missing a trick really, and we're not kind of reaping the benefits of the things that we could by getting involved. So I think that's kind of my main standout point really.
Yeah, quite similarly to Ellie, all 4 points of mine are quite personal to me, mental health as well, but also improving equal opportunities. Kind of I want to implement codes of conduct for clubs. I had quite a difficult year last year as a member of the hockey club. We've got to kind of go over that, make sure nothing like that can happen. It's not also just an issue in this university. It's happening universities across the country. So if York is seen to take a really strong stance on that kind of behaviour, we can kind of set an example for everybody else. And also kind of uniting York. I think it's really important to have friends across all sports teams, not just in your club, and that'll bring York together and could also give us a really good chance at winning roses away next year.
Brilliant. So as both Charlotte and Ellie mentioned, you've both you've all put mental health into your manifesto. So give me more details about it. How exactly are you going to go about working to solve mental health problems at the university?
So personally, I want to work with student minds and on-campus charities, as well as potentially other like larger charities such as Beat, but kind of to do what maybe related workshops to mental health, how sport can help it. Also put on exercise classes, whether it's in the gym or whether we kind of use other facilities on campus, such as like Vanbrugh Dining Hall, James Hall. There's loads of facilities available where we could do things like yoga, work with other students groups, do some HIIT classes, and then it's not as intense as going to the gym and maybe not as, terrifying. Also, I want to do nutritional talks, work with companies such as SciTech, who we currently have a partnership with, kind of work alongside them and raise awareness of that, because I think bad nutrition also really badly affects mental health, and it's also really easy to eat quite poorly at university.
Mm-hmm.
I want to introduce mental health training for captains and committee members of sports teams, because you can be a mental health first aider, which is like the equivalent of being like a physical first aider. I also want to have like a charity competition against Lancaster, so like the university that raises the most money for like mental health charities throughout the year, like maybe get some extra roses points, because I think that's a great way to kind of keep mental health at the forefront of everyone's minds and keep people thinking about it, and also kind of create the roses buzz a little bit earlier on. And I also want to do drop-in sessions with me and hopefully someone from the open door team, so that like committee members and captains can come in and ask about any kind of issues they have, or like if they don't know how to go about something with a team member, they can kind of come and get a bit of advice and ask about that. And I want to do like a spotlight on different kind of sports people throughout the year from different teams, and so with different mental health issues kind of, and that makes it relatable for every student at the university. So I think that's something really important, is make it relatable for people and kind of they can kind of get involved with it in that way.
So I, if elected, would like to introduce a programme of workshops. I went to one recently that was put on by York Sport Union, and I believe it was with Student Mind, and it was fantastic actually. It was really interesting and eye-opening, and I learnt a lot of stuff. And I'd love to put on a programme of workshops not only available to the sporty students and those that are members of sport clubs, but to the whole, open it up to the whole student community, because I think not only is it a huge issue for sport people, it's also a really big issue for the student community, and I think that the university and the union could do more to support that. I'd also like to host drop-in sessions weekly on Hes East and Hes West, so that both campuses are heard, and again, people could come with issues and we could talk about things, because I think the stigma really needs to be broken down, so we're all more informed and educated, and we all have a conversation about these things.
Okay, so in this debate last year, the current president, Zach Shepherd, talked about the need to utilise money that wasn't being used. And of course, you all talk about costs in your manifestos. Mm-hmm. So how would you affect the sports budget, and how would you go about addressing any problems in spending?
Okay, so in my manifesto, I talk a lot about student hire costs. I think that a thing that we've got going on now is that our clubs are very singular, and I think we do need to become more like one union. And a way we could do this is through increased coordination between clubs. If we're talking more to all the clubs and finding out their needs, if 3 clubs all want a cardio fitness session, put them in contact with one another, get them to train together, forge new links. You've got everyone coming closer together and you're cutting costs. I'd also like to look at the gym memberships because I think that needs to be a more flexible payment options, because at the moment it's not really good for the student budget. If you've got more options of payment, it's more suitable to each student's individual need. So I think I'm more about working on what we've got and reducing costs that way by streamlining the process and more communication.
I think for me, what I'd want to do is have a sit down at the start of the year with smaller clubs specifically, because I know they're the ones that face like specific costs mainly, and see what they need out of the year and kind of how we can kind of help them financially specifically to reach the place that they want to be. And also, like Maddi said, the kind of joint fitness sessions and kind of improving costs that way. But yeah.
I think having been on the York Sport Committee this year, I've kind of seen how clubs have struggled with costs, and what I think has been an actual real problem. It's not a problem, it's also a positive, but university is no longer capped, which means there's more people interested in sport, which means clubs are having to book more pitch time. Certain clubs have actually tripled in size, and it's actually been quite difficult for them to accommodate all these new freshers. So we kind of need to look at different clubs and see how can we help them individually when it comes to cost. We can't just have like certain set levels of grants, etc. We just need to look at individually and see how we can help them.
Okay, that's been the sports debate. Thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Candidate Interview Night on URY.